Nacho Banos from Spain.
Hello, Thomas.
Hi, nice to meet you. You are the man behind this fantastic book, The Black Art.
Yeah.
And that tells me that you are a total Telecaster nut.
I am. Yeah, I am a fanatic of those guitars. I've been a fanatic for all my life, since I was a kid.
Okay. How did you came across the Telecaster or Broadcaster or Esquire or Nocaster? And which of these Tele-style guitars, is there any favorite in your opinion?
I think as it happens, it was almost kind of like a matter of luck, you know, a strike of luck. When I was a kid, I wanted to get a 335 because it's either was going to be or a 335 or a Telecaster. Because that 335 was kind of like you know, the guitars that B.B. King used and all the blues guys. You know, Freddie King started out with a Les Paul, but then he switched to a 345, 335. And then and then all of the other guys, you know, beginning with you know, Keith Richards and all the James Burton with Elvis. Bruce Springsteen's, all the Telecasters were in the covers of all those records. So I wanted to get one, and I was using a cheap Les Paul copy that I could afford. This is probably 1983, maybe 83, 82, 83. When I started playing with friends, and the only good guitar that was at the shop when I was able to afford something a little better was a Telecaster. So I ended up buying
that guitar,
a new guitar, and this was 80. I think it was the guitar was from 1983, but I think I bought it in 1987.
Oh, okay, a few years used already.
I was saving money.
Of course. And then you probably discovered that the Tele has a history, or as I told you, that guitar was a 1983 standard guitar, and so which was very different from the ones that were in the pictures of the records that we loved. So I started out thinking, you know, where are the other ones? Where are the old ones? Because the ones that all my heroes are playing are from way back, you know, back in the 50s. And in Spain, there was no way you could get some of those old.
If you were lucky, you would maybe get something from the mid 60s, but nothing like 50s,
53 or something.
And then, you know, one of the things that my parents were kind enough to send me to the United States when I was a teenager, and I was going back and forth to learn English, and then I ended up going to school in Boston, Massachusetts, for a couple of years. So once I got there, it was a mission for me. You know, I started on a mission to get a real old one, and I was lucky enough to find a Broadcaster, and this is 1992, and I sold everything I had
just to have the money to get that one guitar.
I sold 2 amplifiers, one guitar, another amplifier, another guitar, everything, and then they gave me like 3 months to pay everything.
The rest,
So I ended up with that guitar, and that changed it. You know, that changed everything for me.
And that kind of was the experience of the real deal Telecaster. And what made you start writing all these books? I mean, fantastic books. You know, this is like the most solid collection of beautiful pictures, stories, background information, and then you took it even further with these books with the prototypes. You know, the background history of the industry. I mean, for me, you know, one thing is what sees the public, which is we see catalogs and we see finished instruments in the catalog, but you seems to be interested in the making and the process of prototype stages, like first stage prototype, what changed to the next level, and how we see a final product finally. And that's super.
My family has been running a business since the mid 50s in Spain, and I have been around engineers and tooling makers and factories since I was a kid. So for me, it's always been when I saw something that I liked, I saw, I wonder if we could
make that.
Yeah, make it. What is the making process?
Yeah.
What is the manufacturer behind?
Yeah.
Because that's our daily job is like trying to find ways to make things that clients want.
Yeah.
So customers come to us and they say, we have a need for a type of product, and you have to figure out how to make that happen.
Yeah.
So we, that's been in my mindset. And when I got the first old guitar, then I wanted the second one. As you know how
course.
it goes. You always want another one.
Yeah.
So for a couple of years, I was living in the United States as a college student, and I was saving money. I was getting money from my family to live in a nice apartment, and then I moved to a basement. And
to save more money for the guitar.
So every two, this is like 30-something years ago.
Yeah.
So back then, the guitars were still affordable. I mean, you could save for 3 or 4 months and get one,
Yeah.
And so I was doing that. And then when I got back to Spain, there was all this crazy thing about the forums in the internet. That got started like in the late 90s or mid to late 90s, and everybody was, the discussions were about things that I was very, familiar with.
Yeah.
Because I was able to gather all those guitars, and I was, fascinated with them, and I always, disassemble them and try to find ways and the answers to all those questions. And people were discussing things on the internet, and I thought, well, I know a lot of those answers, and people seem to don't have their information. So, what if I write a book?
Yeah.
And that was the
starting
process.
point.
Yeah.
And finally, you end up kind of manufacturing your own Tele. So you told me that logo is not put on from your side.
No.
So forget about that logo. But this looks like the real.
It's not. This guitar is from a customer.
Yeah. And we can see this plate here with the Nacho logo. So this is definitely with a serial number and stuff like this. So you did all that mechanical parts.
We have tooling presses in the factory. So some of the hardware parts that we feel like we need to make, we make at home.
Yeah, and this is talking metal parts.
Yeah,
this is like your day business is metal
tooling. Yeah, metal.
Yeah.
And then, but we have. The thing is, we have the cutting machines, and then we have the guys that do the cutting programs. So if it's cutting wood, we don't use our machines, but we do the program, and I go to the guy next door, and he cuts the wooden parts for me. So some of the metal parts that we make, we make the pickups, we make the bridge plate, we make the knobs, we make the string retainer, the string ferrules on the back. We cut the peg guards. And then, we cut the wood, and then we start the finishing and the aging process with the wood. So basically what we have done is we have analyzed the old guitars, and we have analyzed the pickups, the electronics, the wood, and the lacquer and the hardware on the old guitars. And we have tried with the materials that we have available today.
Of course.
We have tried to come with something that would be close enough for somebody who doesn't want to spend $70,000 or $80,000 on an old Telecaster.
Right. Yeah. Let's. Yeah, a great guitar. Yeah, thanks so much for joining in here.
Thank you, Thomas.
And especially for sharing the knowledge, your deep knowledge in the books, because you know, this channel here, The World of Vintage Guitars, is mainly guys that collect old instruments, and there's a lot of very useful and interesting information about those iconic Telecasters or Esquires T-style guitars.
Yeah.
And beautiful pictures. I just was browsing through, and it's like very, very tasteful, done with a lot of love, just as your instrument. Hey, thanks again.
No, thank you so much. Thank you.